Hello. In a previous video, we created an interconnect test using the development screen. So now we are going to go to the test screen. And when we access the test screen, it will load up the last project that was run. So what we'll do is we'll quickly run the test that we have developed, this interconnect test. And then we'll go take a look at some of the controls on the screen and see what their purpose is and how they can be used. So all we really have to do now is click go and run the test, and it passes. It tells us what it ran. It did a tap test. You can see these, for example, ID code. It shows the measured and expected ID code values for each of the boundary scan chips on our board. And it shows us the opens and shorts test that it ran. And then we could insert a fault. I'm going to do that by just flipping a switch on the board and running the test, and we'll see that now this tint shows us where the failures are, and it also gives us a diagnostic message showing that this dip switch pin 8 is stuck high, which it actually is. So I will put the switch back and click go again, and now it passes. So that's basically all you need to do to run tests. If you had multiple tests, you just check the ones you want to run and run them, and they would all run in sequence. But let's take a look around at the various controls on the test screen and see what we can do. We know that we can click go and run a test, that we can browse and load different tests. But starting with the operator, we can designate an operator name. It could be any name, or we can use an administrator or manager, and they can have privileged access to the controls on the board if we do that, and it's password protected. For each board, you can put in a serial number or a board type if you wish, and that will show up in the test reports, whether it's the fail report or a more in-depth test report. When we run a test, the number of failing vectors will be shown here. We can retry on failures if we wish. For example, we could set this to 3, and when we click go, if there was a failure, it would retry up to 3 times. We can set the max failures before a test aborts. And one of the things we can do is we can click projects. It will give us a list of our projects. And so we pick another project. Here's one with a lot more tests. So if we wanted to in a project, we could click multiple files that we will run when we click go. Just those checked files will be run. We can change the order, drag and drop, and change the order of tests. And whenever you do this, this will be saved and restored so that when you reload a project, those are the settings. Both the checked and the order of the test is what you will see. So we'll just go back to our test case for now and explore some of the other settings. Here we can check or uncheck our controls, the ones that we have selected. Like so, and that's if you have a lot of controls, a lot of tests, and you want to start fresh, uncheck or check them. Okay, for any test that we run, we can view the fails report, which we just looked at. We can also look at a test report, and this is pretty in-depth. It will show us the status of the tap test that we've run, which tests and the status. It shows us our JTAG chain or chains, and we have a legend here of letters, and they correspond to, in this in-depth report, showing the test vectors at each pin. These will show us what's going on. A 0 is a drive low, drive high, test low, test high, failure low, failure high. So that's what you will see in the report, and it's pretty in depth. These results are also shown in ProScan in a somewhat similar fashion, but using waveforms. So we'll leave this report, and then let's take a look at some of the other things. Tap Connect access is the same as accessing the controllers menu, and that simply shows us a list of the SBF files that we have, and it will show us which JTAG controller channel is assigned to a particular test. So you could have interconnect tests with multiple chains, and then you might want to come down to the list of controller channels, JTAG channels that you have available, and you could assign a particular channel just by clicking on it when you've selected the SBF. So you can assign whatever channel you want to whatever chain you have. In this case, we just have one chain, A, and we've assigned this channel to that. This would be channel A on our board. So we're going to leave this, and we will take a look at another control, prompts. And with prompts, all this is if you want, you can set in a prompt message for the user so that when an SBF is loaded, it will come up with this prompt message to alert the user to do something specific. The auto detect control, as you would expect, should go out, and for chain A, for example, it should detect the chain that's on our controller right now, and it shows us the TDI to TDO order of the BSDL files that are detected in that chain. If you're programming Flash, there are some controls, so you can elect in the program to just run a test, erase the Flash, program the Flash, verify the Flash, change a data file, change starting and ending addresses, and there are a few other options that you can set here. So we'll leave that. There's an options and burn-in dialog, and what that allows you to do is set burn-in conditions. So when you're burning in, it'll just keep looping the test and logging the failures to a specified log. Sometimes that's convenient, especially if you're putting your board in an environmental chamber or there are intermittent conditions on your PCB. And there are some other options too to kind of tailor the reports that are generated. So we'll leave that. And another thing that you can do is test your cable. For example, let's say that we have our controller cable, we have two channels A and B, and we want to test channel B. We would just put B here, and if we wanted to test TCK, we just click on TCK, and now I have a loopback connected to channel B, on channel B from TDO to TCK. If I were to remove that loopback, you'll see that it's now failing. So that's what a failure on your tap channel would look like. So we'll just stop that. So that covers the basic operation of the ONTAP test screen. Thanks for watching.